You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
But I don't blame them, I blame you! You have to do better.
What is up, mob? How we doing? We got some guys in here early. Ronnie, Two Stroking, and of course, Drop Bear. And then my co-host, the Faster Pastor, Matt Hammer. How are you doing, brother?
What's up, Chris? What's up, everyone in the chat? Yeah, great to be here. Always want to talk moto, break up the week. It's much needed. You know, it's always so fun hopping in here, but a lot of stuff to go over like usual. How was your week? How was your weekend?
Good. I'm trying to think. Yeah, my daughter turning 18, believe it or not. Holy moly. So doing some stuff for her and her birthday, and
Nice.
went to a solstice party. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I got dragged to a pool party last night. It was pretty cool.
A solstice party?
Yeah, summer solstice. And it was like this kind of group of like hippies, but it was at the Durango Casino pool. It was actually pretty cool. Yeah, it was like kind of Burning Man-ish. Not really my jam, but I enjoyed it.
Should I ask what you did there? Like what?
No, dude, I had 3 drinks. That was it. But yes,
right.
there were clearly some people doing some extracurricular stuff for sure.
Yeah,
not me.
Be careful with any of that stuff or any rituals or anything like that. But
no. They were doing yoga and they had some drums. Like I said, it wasn't. I didn't even know that existed in Las Vegas, but my friend dragged me out to it, and it was pretty fun. Like I said, I just like swimming at night. It's really cool. How's your music doing, brother?
it's doing good. Yeah, I'm happy. This last release, the one that you've been showing to all the viewers, is doing really good. One of the best songs dropped thus far, like just performance wise, analytics. So happy about that. Thank you for everyone who's supported, checked it out. It's like alternative emo rap. So if you're into anything that's like alternative or edgy or just something different with grunge, that might be your vibe. But it's not for everybody, you know. But if it's for you, you'll definitely vibe with it.
Oh man, I love your music. I hate when you call it emo. It makes me not want to listen to it when you say emo.
Well,
I know maybe it's just my
yeah.
generation, but when I hear emo, I'm like, nah, man. But it's really good music, and I play it on the songs. I love it. I love that new song.
I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you. And it's kind of like I said, if you listen to Linkin Park, it could be technically under new metal, it could be under grunge. It's just the different genres. That's what they name it. So it's like a branch of hip hop, and that's like the branch. But yeah, again, appreciate it.
So you have to use that title to get into the algorithm to get it pushed. Oh,
correct.
Man.
That's why I'm not like that's just the name of the genre. So, yeah,
that makes sense. I'm like, why does he keep pushing it as emo? It's not emo. I think of like this white pasty guy with long hair crying into a cup. Like yeah.
But believe it or not, like that's a lot of the demographics. It's mixed, but then you could also put under goth too. That does really well there. So it's a lot of different, like I said, branches in music, but it fits on the alternative scene for sure. Definitely not mainstream pop or anything that's bubblegum music for real.
It does good because it's good. That's it. I don't even know. I hate having to classify everything. I just like it. It's good music. So
appreciate it.
And we got your new channel up and running, Hammer Moto. And did you guys go over there, chat? Can you guys go over there and subscribe to Matt? He's doing a lot of stuff. We're going to do some breakdowns, and we had some incidents. We had Seth Hammaker's like ridiculous Larry loop out, Enzo Timmerman's crash, Dylan Ferrandis got into it in the same section. And I also wanted to ask Matt about the WMX and Mela Herrick, and she got creamed in the first turn. And I was going to have him break all that down. So I'm going to pull it up. We're going to start with Larry loop out here.
Watch is going to.
So this is the Seth Hammaker incident. Wow.
Right.
What in the heck was he doing? So he comes out of the turn.
Yeah, so the first thing we're gonna have to rewind this a lot and go like frame by frame here. I want to break this down. So comes in, stuffs it a little bit in that edge there, tries to make up the difference by accelerating a lot here, but he actually checks up a little bit too much. This is just a pretty much a single. You should be overshooting this. All the guys are overshooting this. So he checks up a little bit, and as we start to play this forward, he lands actually short on this jump, which is odd. You could see the tire actually engage in the middle of that jump, and the moment it caught, it looped out from underneath him because he wasn't anticipating that rear tire to catch there. He needed to go an extra 4-5 feet. He could have even jumped an extra 10. See where Manir is landing. You should be over jumping that to make up time. Typically a double, you'll land on the landing, but a single, it's fair game. You want to overshoot singles as a racer because that's where you can actually make up times on your opponent. So that was an odd landing point, and then he was completely unprepared for it to land there, and then it just looped out from underneath him. Kind of reminded me a little bit of what Ryan Villapoto did back in the GP days on that straightaway, just not being prepared for the traction where he landed. But yeah, that's the tail of the tape.
So when I'm looking at it though, and I saw the guys doing this all day, and I know what you're talking about on that straight jump. But a lot of times when a guy's landing on flat land, you do that little thing where you kind of let the back wheel drop about 6 inches right before impact.
Sure.
I think he thought that he was not going to downside it, and he drops the wheel right here, and he drops it too soon before he gets out to the flat. I think if he doesn't drop the wheel like that, he probably does land down there, but he dropped it too early, just kind of got overexcited, and then it catches right here, and he's not ready. He's still thinking he's going to land out here somewhere, and boom.
The odd thing about this, though, is when you start in the turn, when we go back to the turn, he comes down that hill, bonsais it, stuffs it at the end of that rut there. You never really want to stuff a corner. You want to carry as much momentum as possible, stay a little bit inside of that loose stuff. And he tries to make up the difference off the face. And then maybe he checked up and was like, oh, I don't want to go too far here. And then he ends up checking up too much to where he catches in that area where you said right there in the middle. But it's
right here's where he stuffed it.
So yeah, right there, right there. That's it. That's where he stuffed it. You typically want to be 6 inches inside of those areas in a rut, because the moment that you stuff any rut, you lose all your momentum. You could put your foot out. You could risk twisting your ankle, spraining your ankle, losing that forward momentum drive. So you always want to keep your feet on the pegs as much as possible. Keep your foot up high and tilt your foot inward as well. So if your foot does catch, it doesn't twist the opposite way and torque your ankle.
Yeah, that was nasty, man. Poor Hammaker. There goes my title hope.
Yeah, I think your title's not. I mean, he's 16 points down, but who knows the extent of this injury now?
See how when he drops that wheel, it almost touches and then he hits there and it almost jumps.
Yeah,
off of it.
Yeah, but
that's why I didn't see how it skipped.
Right.
I think he just clipped it. He just cut it a little too close, trying to get the power down, because he's chasing the rookie Menier. And, as much as these guys don't want to admit it, the veterans do not like getting beat by this new generation of rookies.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, now he's, like I said, he was the points leader at this round, and he needed to make a move. But I think he just got a little bit too excited too soon, and that was all she wrote. But this is kind of typical of Seth from what we've been seeing. The first turn pileups, the crashes in Supercross. It's really nothing new for Seth at this point. So as much as it's like a weird crash, it doesn't surprise me that it's happening with Seth.
Well, no, that's, dude, 3 weeks in a row, every single second moto. And it's funny, I don't know what's going on with him in these second motos. He's either in the first turn or now he's doing this. It's weird. My brother used to do that. It was always the last moto of the weekend. It was almost like he was like, well, I don't have anything to do tomorrow. I'm just going to go for it. And I feel like Seth kind of has that attitude. And I just, man, I don't know. He's got to figure out a way to chill.
Here in green.
So this is Enzo Timmerman. So he comes over here.
And then that rear end catches. I was breaking this one down too, like looking at it before. So here's my thoughts. He's coming up to it, and right about here, you see that edge? See how hard back? We could pause it. Back up a few frames. I'll show you where it happens, right on that edge. This part of the track, it gets really baked. I don't know if anyone here has raced High Point, but I've raced High Point a few times, and it's soft in the morning, like when they water it a lot, they till it, or if you get rain, because it always rains in Pennsylvania. And basically, once it starts to dry out, it gets really, really hard packed, almost like the road on the side. And he just catches that edge. There could have been a rock there, but from what I could see, he hits this edge and he was leaning too far forward. So he's standing up, he's leaning forward, and he doesn't have any weight on that rear end. So the moment it catches, it pushes him sideways, and then he starts to sway back, and then he can't save it at that point. It's over.
Yeah, he catches it right there, but you're saying he's too far forward?
I was saying he's too far forward. So think about it. If you have too much weight on the front part of the bike, like over the handlebar at that point, you think, all right, that's where I want to be. But in this particular instance, you want to get that weight to the rear end, because with the rear end being very light at that point, and once it catches, it's going to skate out underneath it. Think about if the weight was further pushed back, that weight would be harder to move. But since he was already standing up and leaning further forward, it caused that rear end to skate out from underneath him. Have you ever, like, when you go mountain biking, for example, and you're leaning forward and you're climbing up a hill, if you catch an edge or catch a rock when you're cycling like that and you're
Oh
leaning
yeah.
forward, think of how light that rear end is at that point.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I was looking at that a little differently, and a lot of that too. Now he had the scoop tire on.
It
Now
doesn't
that's
help, but they also have special compounds, right? Like it's not just a tire from what they have with their rubber compounds and spec tires. They're only built to last a moto, the factory Dunlop tires. So it's not a typical scoop that you would buy or I would buy. I know you wouldn't buy a scoop, but if you were to,
I would.
you
I would
would?
love to run a scoop, but well, no, in Vegas, like, dude, we ride on cement, so you might as well. One time I tried a flat track tire just to see how it would work. It didn't work
Right,
very good.
right.
So this is Dylan Ferrandis and Tondal. Now they had an incident in this same section, and I think we might have the same culprit.
Yeah, so this is another when I was looking at this breakdown previously, Tondal actually made a mistake exiting the turn. So it was actually a line choice because when we pause a second, we go back out of this left-hand sweeper, there's a ton of ruts. So you only have a few exit points. So the fact that he's in the middle line right here, he's not way far inside where this deep rut would be where Dylan is, or on the outside where Marchbanks is and railing it. He set himself up to where he doesn't have a point to have his tires hold. So Marchbanks has this wall here. Dylan has this inside rut here, but Tondal is on the gas aggressively out of this berm. It's not as deep right here. And then once he hits this slick point, he starts to lose his tire and then pivots into Dylan's line. So it was his fault, Tondal's fault, from making that mistake exiting the turn. But this also had to do with the rider choice previously before he made that exit. For example, if Tondal went all the way inside, that wouldn't have happened. If he went all the way outside, it would be a lot less likely for it to happen since he would have had his tires in a more solidified point to where they wouldn't be able to hop out of the line that easily.
Yeah, but I get it. He's not trying to follow, so he wants to get a little bit off of Marchbanks' line.
He ain't passing Marchbanks or Dylan.
I know, but
there's no
you know
shot.
how it is. You get set. You don't
Yeah.
follow. It's just like what you do. You see a guy, you take a different line, and yeah, of course, Marchbanks is going the other direction in that field. But I think Dylan owns a little bit of the blame here because he was trying to cut it so close. And now if Tondal doesn't make that mistake, he cuts it perfectly, sets himself up on the outside, and maybe passes him up the uphill. But with the mistake, it screws up the timing, and boom, and then he clips him.
Yeah, it definitely messed up the timing with his mistake. Dylan didn't anticipate that. Otherwise, Dylan wouldn't have crashed there. He got the short end of that stick. But Tondal, like I said, taking that line was even slower. If he went and hit that bank and stayed more to the right, he would have been able to carry more speed over that instead of trying to veer in and keep it tight there. Because that turn automatically, you're getting pushed out to the right hand side. You want to ride the edge by these track markers over there.
And I know the camera doesn't say it, but does it actually, is that turn kind of off camber there? Because I know that whole track is built like on a valley.
Yeah, it is. So that turn is off cambered, and going into it, it's so gnarly because the ruts get so deep there, and it's an off cambered left hand turn, and that roller, like I said, it's always slimy coming up the top of it. So typically, you want to be a gear high and roll the throttle to get that traction to the ground. Because if you're too high in the RPMs, then you're not going to be getting the same traction. You're going to have more wheel spin, which could happen, like I said, coming out, which happened to Tondal there.
Okay. Now we're going to go to the start of the WMX. So this is the start where rookie Mela Herrick, she came out yesterday, or the first day, won the first moto, and then this is what happened in the first turn that caused that red flag.
Right. Yeah.
What happened?
When she my question is, you see how bunched up all those Hondas are getting right there and how she gets bunched up in this inside. I'm wondering if there's someone that also hit her from the back, because we could see someone, it just gets a little blurry here, but we could see someone running into the back of her tire, because once you bunch up like that in an inside turn, you can't really go anywhere. And the moment that you hit the brakes, someone's colliding into you and you keep getting pushed. It's almost like if you're in a car accident and then one person hits you from behind, the other person hits you, and it just keeps moving forward and you can't stop. But if I had to guess, it does come from that one person on the inside. I can't answer the number. Yeah.
Jamie Astudillo. Jamie Astudillo blasted her right there. And I don't know if there's history, But I have to think they're probably a little bit resentful that she comes out in her very first race and wallops everybody. And that's what you do when a rookie comes in and they're bigger than they should be. You ride them rough. Do I think that she meant to do any of this? No, she was just trying to push her out of that first turn.
Yeah, I don't. It's tough to say, but what I would say here from being racing this start, and being at this track before, the turn does funnel in. It's not like a clear shot where you have that inside, and you could see how it funnels in, and that person on the inside has to go up while they're all fighting for that same real estate. And mind you, the one person who essentially caused it did stay up. So if she made a really big error as well, she wouldn't have stayed up on that inside.
Well, and my question too, and I'm looking at it from this angle, Mela came in a little bit from the outside. Did she
Yeah.
take kind of an angle that set herself up for it, you think?
She didn't have enough room though. Is that Lala in front of her?
That
tell.
was Jordan Jarvis, and then she's right next to Jordan Jarvis. You guys can't see my mouse.
I can't see the numbers clearly here. They're blurred, but
yeah, it's Jordan Jarvis with and Jordan Jarvis kind of pinched her. And look how close Jordan Jarvis is to that inside. And I don't think Mela had anywhere to go. And like you said, that happens. But I don't know. I mean, what do you do as a rider to avoid something like this? Like if you were giving Mela advice and you say, hey, what would you tell her next time to do so this doesn't happen again?
check up. If you know you don't have that, or if it's a little too close for comfort, just check up. If you know you have the pace, you'll work your way through. You have enough time in the moto. It's not worth extra few positions. I know typically the start is the only place you could pass 40 riders in one area, but if you go down, you could cause a DNF, like I said, or put yourself in a really bad position after a great moto like she had, getting that W on the board. Just make it through top 10. If she can get in top 10, she could have worked her way forward and probably secured that overall.
Gosh, that was nasty though. Oof.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. That turn, yeah, that turn could set you up for it though. There's a few turns you'll see in Supercross, some of the outdoors that funnel in like that, and it's tough for every rider to get out cleanly.
So guys, if you want to see breakdowns like that and get Matt's perspective on different stuff, please subscribe to his channel. He's live with us right now. We're streaming on both channels, but I'm trying to help him get this rolling, and I appreciate him joining us here. So if you guys could do that, I would appreciate it. So
yeah, I appreciate it. And just started the channel too, so everything's all fresh and there'll be more content on there. But go over, subscribe if you want more breakdowns like that.
Well, there's a guy that's been liking a lot of posts lately. Maybe we can get this guy to like your post. So
he liked your post, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He liked my post.
Yeah,
it showed him crashing and said, "This is the epitome of the Kawasaki relationship," and he liked it.
I was gonna say, you guys share that with the viewers. That was, I mean, this is something that we knew was going on for a long time. I don't know how much longer he's gonna be at Kawasaki, or if that was the last we ever saw Chase on a Kawi. And now, as you were saying previously about the injury, if it was a real ACL tear or not, what are your thoughts on this so far from this update?
Well, I don't have any medical information. They would never let it out, because if it was an ACL or it wasn't an ACL, they're going to have to present it, because it would be, I mean, I don't know if it's considered fraud if you do that, because, Kawasaki would want him back in 4 to 6 weeks if it wasn't. What I know about my knee surgeries is I've had them scoped. When I'm scoped, they don't put a big brace on it. I mean, obviously, I'm sure if they were trying to fake it, they could do that, but that looks exactly like the brace I got when I had an ACL fixed. So, I mean, obviously they, and the thing is it's weird because it might have been torn ahead of time. I've had an ACL tear for years, and maybe this is the time he decided to fix it. Either way, we all know that relationship with Kawasaki is gone bad. It's irreparable,
for real. Yeah.
Especially after liking Yamaha posts, liking my posts. Like, I mean, if you wanted to take what was left of that bridge and just set it on fire, he went ahead and did that. So, I don't know what he does next. He's talking Yamaha, and I always thought you were crazy when you said go to Yamaha, but I don't know what else he can do. I've heard Quadlock Honda. Honestly, he's not going to get the same kind of money, but I don't think he cares. He's just, I don't know, man. What do you think?
Well, we don't know about the ACL tear. Like I said, we have to take him for his word.
There we go. My Wi-Fi buffered. So.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say we have to take Chase at his word. If he says it is, it is, right? He clearly got surgery on his knee, and now how long is this gonna take to recover? How bad is the extent of it? I never had an ACL tear. I never want to have one. Had my fair share of injuries, but you would know better than me. And now, if he comes back at this with a reasonable time frame, do we see him? I'm assuming we're going to see him in Supercross, right? Like we're probably not even going to see him for SMX at this point.
No, I don't think we're going to see him in SMX. One, he's got to find a new ride. Two, he would be pushing. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, even if he has this freak recovery, I don't think you'd want to push it. SMX doesn't matter. He clearly doesn't like SMX. It hasn't been good to him. So no, I think the next time we see Chase Sexton is Anaheim on probably a Yamaha. Now, whether it's a Star Yamaha or honestly, I don't have a clue what he's going to do, and I don't think he has a clue what he's going to do. But he is torched. And Jeff Weiger said, "Why would Yamaha take this guy?" Well, because you could probably get him for nothing. All you have to do is you're losing Cooper Webb. You give Sexton, he's going to have to do. Remember Chad Reed when he created Tutu? He didn't create Tutu because he wanted to do his own team. He created Tutu because Suzuki, he just won the championship and they fired him. And then he went to Kawasaki. He was unhappy with the bike. And he's like, if I want to do this, I got to do it my own way. And he built the team. Chase is going to have to go that way. I don't think him with somebody else is going to work.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. Yes. So Chase has a tough hole to crawl out of here. First, he's got to be on the mend, come back from this injury. It's not going to be an easy injury to recover from. It takes time. It takes a lot of therapy. And then after all this, getting onto a new brand, wherever he secures his deal, if he goes to Star, if it's a Club MX, if it's Suzuki, I don't see it being Ducati, but maybe, I don't know. It's going to be tough because then he has to adjust to a whole new bike. And who says if he's going to stay on that program that he's been on, or if the new team is going to require him to be in a different program. So he's got an uphill battle for him. And I hope he could take this and reset and make the changes he needs to make, because it's been a really bad road for him and Kawasaki, arguably the worst road out of all the factory teams yet.
Is it worse than Prado last year? By the way, Ronnie Garcia, thank you for joining as a member. Much appreciated, brother.
Yeah.
Is it worse? Again? Is it worse? What's that?
Can you say that again? Is it worse than?
Is this situation? Because Prado took a lot of abuse for being a quitter. Everybody blamed him, not the Kawasaki. Chase took a lot of heat after ghostwriting it. Which of these situations is worse? Like, which one's worse? Which one's more embarrassing for Kawasaki?
I don't think either are good. Flip a coin. They both are bad, but man, I don't know. Chase ghost riding the bike. He's been very clear how much he doesn't like the bike, and potentially not even showing up to race at one point. The manager's like, yeah, if we'll have him show up to race, like that does not look good at all. And then Prado deciding to not put in a heater lap to not qualify at Budds Creek, and then he gets automatically seated because he's top 10 in points. All of them don't look good. If anything, I think Anderson did better than all of them in a way. Like, he was on the Cowie, he put in some good results, and we didn't hear him really complain about the bike. He just kind of went away or had that injury for a bit. But yeah, neither Prado or Chase have been good at all for the brand.
Yeah. I mean, they hire guys to sell bikes, and both guys have hurt sales. Like, they've spent probably $2 million in salary and lowered their sales numbers. It's not good. Like, I mean, I don't know how Kawasaki, I mean, you at some point you have to look at the team manager. I mean, if it were football, baseball, or basketball, if you have a team that has 2-star quarterbacks come in and quit on you, you're not going to keep that man. Like, you're going to fire the coach. Like, I mean, I don't know. And I would look at it and I would say, you probably got to get rid of him. Although with what Marchbanks is doing, it might save him.
Wait, what do you mean it might save him? With what Marchbanks
might save his job, because they're go, oh, it's just these bad apples. It's not actually you, Dan Fahey, the manager.
Okay, for his job. I see.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I don't know why managers aren't looked at in a similar way as they are in other sports. If you continuously have problems with bikes, riders, and team, yet they never ever fire the manager or blame the manager.
Yeah. He's been around for a long time too, though. Dan Fahey.
But that doesn't make you good. Just because you've been around a long time doesn't make you good.
No, but he's been there a long time. I'm like even the Weimer days, the Villapoto days, and probably before that as well. You probably know better than me how many years, but I mean, Weimer was pretty fired up a long time ago how they never allowed him to change the Kawasaki. But from what you are saying, Dan did actually make some adjustments to the bike and was more lenient towards Chase to get the bike set up properly for him, which they still haven't been able to do, but they have been doing a better job at that.
Yeah, it was. I don't know, and I heard the interview, the little clip with Dan Fahey talking to Johnny Hopper, where he said it's our job to give him a bike that doesn't shut off when he hits the brake. Sounded like it was a bit passive aggressive, and I'm like, man, you can't do that. You can't do that after what you've been through with 2 years and 2-star riders. You can't do that. So I don't know. If I was Kawasaki management, I would either move him in-house, move him to a different position, but I think they need, even to draw in more guys, they're going to have to get a new face over there. And I just think it's time. I mean, too many riders in the past have said that he's the problem. He wasn't doing things. And now that he is doing them, it's like too little, too late. I think it's time they move on from him. And I would never want someone to lose their job. That's why I'd say just move him in-house or something.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Can you give us any insight on what's going on there since you know Marchbanks and have texted him and talked to him before? Has he said anything, or has there been updates from the inside? Maybe you could share.
I haven't really talked to Marchbanks much, but I do know this. Garrett is a guy that loves getting the attention. He loves proving people wrong. And the fact that Chase, I can promise you this weekend was a much better atmosphere in the pits. And you could see it by the way he was riding. He's charging. He likes to be that guy. And I remember when Club MX brought in Cody Schock and, all of a sudden Marchbanks wasn't the star. It really, I don't want to say it like chipped away at his ego, but he didn't like it. And he felt, like he was the second tier guy. He does better when the attention's on him. And you're going to see him probably, I mean, he might even get a podium. I'm thinking he's really liking it over there. And like I said, that whole team, when he was catching Prado, had to be losing their minds, just freaking out, like, get him, get him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have him in a podium position yet. I think top fives would be really good for him until if the field thins out, then I could see him in a podium position, but not yet where we're standing with Deegs and Hunter and Jett just riding so good. And then Prado being hot and cold, AP starting to heat up. So it's but Marchbanks is there, but he just needs a little bit more still.
Yeah. Well, let's while we're talking about 450s, the penalties. So Jett Lawrence got a penalty for flipping the bird. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I was surprised they gave a penalty for that, but again, Hayden did mention it in the press conference later on. He was like, "Yeah, I would share what I said, but if I did, then I would have got fined." And I thought he was joking, but then once I saw the penalty list that Jett got fined for doing that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's tough. Like, but I think the fans like seeing the drama and like seeing, okay, there's actually a rivalry. People want to beat each other. Everyone's just not like they're not friends, and it's nice to see that in the sport because it kind of makes you choose a side, or it makes you more interested to watch it and have it be more intriguing than just have Jett and Hunter out front crushing everybody with no drama. Yeah, it kind of sucks seeing all the penalties that they're doing. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, and this has just been amping up year after year after year after year. And like I said, I remember the brunt of it when I saw it firsthand with sound check and losing my fast time when I qualified at Southwick a couple of years ago. So penalties suck. I don't agree with all of them at all. But what are your thoughts on them?
When you have a penalty list with 2 pages, it's not everybody. Clearly, there wasn't a flag out. They're not doing it. Like, if you're getting that many people, then you're not enforcing the rules, or you're not displaying them right. There's no chance. You're a racer. You guys don't want to jump on the red. You only jump on the red when you don't see it. And I don't know why in this day and age on a red flag, why are we still making you guys look and see if it's a yellow or a red and white? Because you kind of glance and then you look at those ruts at high point. You're trying to look over, find out what flag it is, not lose the front end. how about we get some lights or something on the bike that can, like, there's got to be another solution to let you guys know so that you don't have to look over and distinguish because they wave the yellow and the white or they wave them together. It's just a mess. You don't even know what to look for.
Yeah. So typically, when we're at the riders' meeting in the morning, they tell us that we're allowed to jump on the yellow flag. So, yellow flag, you're allowed to jump. But the first lap of qualifying in the morning, they always say, we're putting the red cross flag out. Any jumps with red flashing lights, don't jump. And you can be penalized for doing so, right? The problem is if a rider goes down in qualifying, which happens a lot. So my goal every time qualifying is to qualify before someone goes down and then the lights are out and then your fast laps is cooked. It's over. So you have to get it quickly, very quickly. The moment they put the green flag out, you go and you get that time. But here's the problem. If a rider goes down a section and then they put a cross flag out, we don't always see the cross flag contingent on where the flag position is. If they're behind a tree or if they're tucked far back or in a jump where we need an incredible amount of focus because there's a bunch of ruts off the face, like you said, a lot of riders aren't going to see it. And if we look at the penalty list, wasn't there like 22 riders that got
Yeah.
penalized? So
Yeah.
clearly there's an issue with the flag position if half the field is struggling with this.
Yeah. And in this day and age, they're still getting flaggers. They're giving them like $100, $150 and free lunch. I'll bet you if you put all the money and add it in, MX Sports probably cleared 3 or 4 million. This is their home event, so they got all the ticket sales, sponsor money. They get everything on this one. They probably made 3 or 4 million, and you're telling me you can't pay for a flagging crew, a traveling crew that knows what to do because you'll never get. And I appreciate the people that volunteer and go out there and they give them a 15-minute orientation. But you need to know what a bike's capable of, where it will or won't go, what's dangerous and what's not. You're not going to get that in a 15-minute orientation.
No, you're not. And then plus the problem is when they do give you this riders meeting, they don't cover all the rules. And then if you're in 250B qualifying, you're typically first up for qualifying and you can't even be at the riders meeting the whole time. You have to actually get your bike, have all your gear, go down early because you want to put yourself in position to line up first. Because if you show up late to the first qualifier, they line you up on a gate and then you're starting so far back that you're already putting yourself at a deficit before you go out on the track. So when I go race, I'm down there almost an hour early, like when no one's down there, when like they have a chain over the fence and they're like, all right, like you can't pass this position yet to the starting line, just so I have the position on the starting line to have a shot at getting out first. Like it starts there. You're battling guys just to get onto the track as a privateer.
Yeah, it's gnarly. Speaking of battling, there wasn't a lot of battling. Hunter, holy crap. I had written him off. I said Jett was the guy. Jett was taking over. And I honestly didn't think, I thought he'd be the bridesmaid again. And that was not the case here. Now, my question to you is Hunter that good? Or did Deegan mess with Jett? Or did Jett lose? Just did he let his brother win?
I don't think he let him win. What I looked at is Hunter was on it all day. Jett did struggle a little bit with going down and qualifying. And when we rewind back, I believe it was a year or two when Roxon raced High Point, Jett went down at this track as well. He has made mistakes here in the past. I don't know if it's the dirt or some of the polished sections, but I don't think it helped having Deegan in his head either. I think that also was some extra noise where he wasn't completely focused on the task at hand. So I think it was a combination of the track and Deegan, which is smart on Deegan's part. He should be doing that because none of these guys are getting in Jett's head or trying to intimidate him at all to where he's concerned about them, because clearly what the rest of the field's been doing hasn't been working with Jett, and we all know that. And with Hunter, it almost took the pressure off of him because there was no targets on Hunter at all. He's like, all right, I'm just going to get the start and check out. And he did it.
Yeah, I do think Jett could have made a run at him. He had a couple of those moments early in that second one. And I honestly, I look at the demographic between him and his brother. And when even after in the cool down area, when Hunter wins, they're all happy. When Jett wins, it looks like a funeral down there. It's rough. And like, that's gotta wear on the relationship a little bit.
Right.
Go ahead.
Why are you saying it looks like a funeral down there? Just, is there something that you're seeing particularly? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm watching the body language of the Lawrence brothers, and nobody's willing to like. Everyone's on eggshells because they realize Hunter just got beat and he's mad, and Jett doesn't want to celebrate in front of his brother because he just beat his brother. It's really awkward.
Mm.
And then when Hunter wins, they all like breathe and they can actually high five and they look like they can celebrate the victory a little bit. And, you know, and I'm sure Jett's like, you know what? He's better than me today. I could push and maybe catch him. Man, it's going to be 2 weeks. Maybe I'll just let Hunter win and then he'll be nice to me for 2 weeks. I don't know. But you're right about Deegan. He's the only guy who's showing up to beat the Lawrences. He's showing up to beat Jett. These other guys show up. They just want to be close to him. They don't really, they don't truly believe they can. Deegan might not think he can yet, but he knows he wants to, and he will not accept where he's at, and he's working at it. And if he's got to get dirty and rough him up in practice and mess with his head, he'll do it. And I appreciate that. And he learns and learns and learns. It gets better and better. And yeah, he's going to win. Like I said, I think Washougal's where we're going to see him win, but I even saw improvements in him. The second moto, he charged and caught Jett. I know Jett lays up and does that thing, but still, he was pushing pretty hard that second moto.
Yeah, he was. I mean, actually, it's funny you said that. I just brought up the lap times, and the best laps in the 450 Moto 2 were Hunter with a 205.1, Jett did a 205.8, and then Deegan did a 205.5. So he was slightly faster than Jett, and you could see that towards the end of the moto, he was catching him. And I think once he realized he was catching him and looked over his shoulder, because there was some points on the track where you could look over your shoulder and see if the other guy's coming the other direction. He's like, all right, I better pick it up a little bit. And he was able to manage the gap a bit. But Deegs caught him, and that's got to help with Deegs' confidence because, you know, he was far off on when we go back to Pala, and then every round he's been improving and improving and improving. So he's going to keep learning, and he's so young still. He's a rookie. This is his first time out there. And I saw an interesting stat too, Chris, that I wanted to share with you. And if we look at the field, I know you can't look at this this chart completely one-to-one, but if we look at the field in Jett's rookie season in 2023, Deegan is beating all the same riders that Jett beat. They weren't out there at the time. So if we eliminated Hunter and Jett, he's beating all the rest of the field, and you're even throwing in Prado in there and a few more riders. So you could make an argument that Hayden is doing about as well as Jett did on his rookie season. He didn't go perfect, obviously, but when we look at the field, he's doing really good. So I just see him keep improving, and he's going to beat Jett at one of these.
With all due respect, did you just compare Deegan's season to Jett's perfect season?
I did because the field.
I'm sorry, Matt. That's ludicrous, man.
Look at the field.
I mean, Sexton was out there, and Sexton was a beast at that time.
But Deegs also beat Sexton. I'm just talking about on a name perspective. And Sexton was coming off an injury. Remember, he didn't do all the rounds that year. Remember, he came back at Dilla, and then he got smoked. I was there, so I remember. I was there.
Yeah, but undefeated, man. I get it. It was a way more depleted field, but to say Deegan, yeah, that's he's having a good season, but I mean,
it's not a perfect season. It's not a perfect season, but you could make an argument that he's doing really well for his rookie season because the field, if we look at the field from 2023 to 2026, Deegs is beating all the guys that Jett beat in 2023. He hasn't gone perfect, but he's beating all those guys.
The way Jett rode, he would go perfect this season that year. Like, he was just on a different level. I just don't think that's a fair comparison to make. Speaking of not fair comparisons, Jorge Prado. Jorge Prado is blaming his lack of speed on the KTM on the Kawasaki. True story. He literally is saying he lost his ability to go fast because of the Kawasaki, and he has to learn how to do it again. Is that ridiculous or what?
That's actually pretty funny. Pretty funny.
He said, he's like, listen, I didn't go fast, and my mind isn't up to speed, and I gotta learn how to be good again because at the Kawasaki I wasn't really there.
One thing we can say is he hasn't gotten all the same testing on the KTM, even though it's essentially the same bike he had in the GPs. He hasn't been to all the rounds on a KTM yet. So there is going to be some adjustments he's going to be making with the motorcycle. So that's one fair thing we could take from it. But to hop from one manufacturer to another, you feel good fast. If I hopped on a Honda, then back to my Yamaha, I'd be like, yeah, I feel right at home on my Yamaha. It just, it's pretty quick adjustment. When the riders are at this level, you can hop on a bike and go fast quick.
I just think he doesn't want to be there. And I've been saying that from the beginning. I don't think he really likes outdoors. He's already conquered them in the GPs. The only time I saw him really drop the hammer is when he saw Marchbanks coming, because that's the one guy he can't have pass him. But I mean, I don't know. I was disappointed in his performance.
He rode good the first moto though, Prado. I mean, he was up front with Jett until Jett got him at the end, but he got third.
Well, when you're that talented, you're gonna have flashes just because he's that talented. But to win all the time and be a title contender like they hired him to be, you gotta dig on those days. On those days when you don't quite feel it, you still gotta be second or third. And he has the kind of talent that he could do that. He just doesn't try. I don't know, man. I see no heart out of him.
Well, would you consider him the A guy or the B guy then? Because technically we did have Eli and he's gone, he was supposed to be the person to contend for the title for outdoors. So who would you say would be more of an A or B guy?
Well, I think that would be a double A side. I mean, when you bring in Eli Tomac, he's always the A side. And then you bring in a 4-time world champion, he's also the A side. The only B side would be Plessinger. They would be like 1 and 1A. They're not. They both wanted good performances out of them, and they were kind of rolling the dice with them. So I don't think that one of them's an A and one of them's a B. Plessinger is your B, and man, he caught and passed Prado. I was so happy for the Cowboy, because that's the thing. When you have Epstein-Barr, these fatigue syndromes, when you work out really hard, you're kind of almost scared. Like, am I going to get worse or am I going to recover better? And obviously he's getting better, and that's got to feel pretty good.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's got to feel good. I mean, AP's the people champion, such an awesome dude. If I was to chill with anybody in the sport, I'd probably hit up AP, honestly. If I knew him well. But yeah, hats off to him. He rode really good that second moto. He didn't get the overall on Prado this time around, but he's starting to show signs of what he's capable of doing, because ever since he got ran into by Webb at A1, it's just been downhill for him the whole season. So this is finally some change in momentum for AP, which has been, it's nice to see. So he's going to be at least carrying that into Triumph well.
And honestly, I saw him at Paula when he started to get tired. He didn't dig deep. And I think a lot of that is he's scared. He didn't want to go, because he knows he can dig himself into a hole, because, once you've done that, you're a little bit leery. But I think with the improvements that we saw, he's getting confident in his body again. I think he's going to be on the podium. I don't know, maybe Ironman, but he's got that speed, man. I mean, he has the talent, and good for him. And he's got a new home over at Triumph, so that's good.
Yeah, we're going to see AP excel, especially on those ruddy tracks. So I'll have my calendars marked for him at once we get to Unadilla and then Ironman. He'll definitely be I'll put him in my top 5 for sure. Maybe even a podium if the field changes a bit, but hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, he should be top 5.
So in Marchbanks, we talked about him a little bit, and he still does, like you said. I thought his starts would improve on a 450. They still suck. I don't know what the problem is there. But he's been able to charge through the 450 pack, and that was something you didn't think he'd be able to do. What are your thoughts on him now? What's his ceiling?
He didn't think he'd be able to. Yeah.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. Well, to be clear, I didn't think he would be a top contender, but he's proven himself to be one of these guys that can finish top 7 consistently. I didn't expect him to consistently beat RJ or Cooper Webb or Dylan. I mean, Dylan's a little bit flaky, but some of the guys he's beating, it's pretty impressive. And he's in the mix every round. I mean, last week he got top 5. I mean, I know there was a penalty involved, but he's showing that he's in this, he's for real. And that's what I want to see. The kid, he has heart, and I have a lot of respect that he's putting it out there, even with all the shade and everything being thrown at Kawasaki with Chase and all the outside noise and the drama. He's able to focus, fire, and put in these really good results. So I expect him to keep improving. What I don't see him doing as well in is in Supercross. That's where I think he's going to have a tough time. But outdoors, he's crushing it. So if he can improve his starts in outdoors, we can see him hang in this top 5, even the top 4 for a longer time. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts beating Prado soon enough once he gets better starts.
I think his Supercross will get better. I think he came in, he had those big crashes, and I don't think he ever really had his confidence. I think if he can get that confidence outdoors, it's going to carry into next year in Supercross. But still, everyone's going to get fresh, and who knows? I mean, dude, that 450 class is a buzzsaw. Did you
Right.
see what happened to Cooper Webb's handlebars?
I heard they were loosened or they loosened up on him or something.
Yeah, something broke like the triple clamp. It was all wobbly. That was weird. I haven't seen that before. So,
Did you see a picture or video, or they just said that over the broadcast?
I heard what he had said afterward that the handlebars just got loose on him.
I
And he
wonder.
couldn't.
I wonder if that was a mechanical issue, like mechanics didn't tighten the bars enough, or if it was actually like a triple clamp.
No, they were tight in the clamps.
Okay.
They were tight in the clamps. The whole clamps were wobbly. It looked like the clamp broke or something, or one of those bolts sheared off in there. I don't know, but I just haven't seen that before. And then I'm kind of disappointed in RJ Hampshire, but it's tough being on that team that, like, I mean, the team's going away. I don't think they care. I don't think they're giving him the right bike. But man, what an effort, though. I laughed so hard when his visor was pointing the wrong direction.
Crash. Yeah, he's crashing like crazy. Yeah, that's the last time I bet on RJ. There was a matchup with him in Marchbanks. And I was like, oh, I'll just toss like like $10 on Hampshire, and yeah, it went south. So last time I'm going to do that. Hampshire has the speed though. From what we've seen from him last year outdoors, he was really coming on strong. He was consistently a top 5 guy. We can't forget that he was getting podiums last year, and he even was on the MX of Nations team and was ripping until he went down. And that's kind of what you're going to get from RJ. He has a lot of speed, but he's going to make RJ mistakes. So I kind of tend to see the same thing. He's been doing it for a very long time. I don't see that changing, but what I do see changing is if he's able to stay healthy, is for his results to get better. I see him consistently getting in the top 5 if he's able to not have any lingering injuries or any problems going on there.
Yeah, I would love to. I don't know. I saw him coming into the year and I thought, wow, he could surprise people consistently top 5. I thought maybe podium, but seeing the way his bike's working late in those races, I'm like, man, I wish they just let him go to Ducati right now.
He's going there. That's the rumor.
Yeah. Zach Osborne confirmed it on one of the shows, and he trains with him. So he said it's 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll with it. I might have already known that, but yes, that's where he's going.
Okay. Yeah,
but Zach Osborne dropped it before I did, so it's fair that I can do it.
You actually, what's funny? I'll give you credit. You were one, I think, the first person to drop the Michael Jordan, Chad Reed teams. I saw a post, I believe, from Vital today that they just like said that he might be putting together a team.
Oh,
so
I cross my fingers. I sure hope he does. I really hope he does, because this is a slam dunk with the lawsuit he brought against NASCAR. This is going to be way easier to win.
Right. Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I hope he does too. The sport needs new blood, needs new teams, needs more money in it. Even though they're making a lot of money with the TV packages, it's not going back to the riders. So I hope some things change ASAP.
By the way, did you see MXGP this weekend or the highlights from it in that track?
Yeah, I saw some highlights. The track in Italy.
Yeah.
A hard pack it was. Yeah, the track was gnarly.
Well, I don't mind the hard pack and the rocks. And I think, guys, that you should. It's motocross.
Talking about the fences, like the
fences and cliffs, I have a problem with.
The fences and the cliffs. Yeah. It keeps you on your toes, right? Like, I mean,
talking about death cross, literally.
Yeah. One thing I like about the track is it's actually hard pack. That's one thing that you never see in the AMA Nationals. And that's a problem with our riders. The MXGP riders have a much better variation of tracks. You have hard pack, you have mud, you have ruts, you have sand. And it makes these riders so well-rounded and versatile compared to the riders in the States. In the States, the tracks are typically the same. They water them like crazy. They till them. It's mud in the morning. And then as it dries out, it's really ruddy. And it's a lot of slot cars because it's very difficult to pass because there's so many ruts. Now, I would love to see if they change the prep to where we had more tracks that were hard pack, more tracks that were sand, more tracks that could be ruddy, like just a mixture of everything, because that's something that our riders just don't have. And I think that favors the GP guys.
Yeah, and that's what I did like about that track. I didn't like the cliffs and the fences, but man, I will say this. I'm very hard on MX Sports and Feld and the way they treat the riders and how little they pay them. But MXGP takes the cake. They don't pay them at all. They put them in death-defying situations. I don't know why any of those teams would go over there. And I was talking to my brother about this, and my brother's like, dude, if the American Series just had profit sharing and made it a little bit better, they could have all the GP guys come over. They could be the giant World Series because they're doing so crappy in MXGP right now. It would be easy to just get everybody over here.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the Kunin brothers. They're coming over for some rounds, and next year it looks like it's going to be full time.
Yeah. And it's crazy that they're thankful to be treated the way that our guys treat them, which I think is ridiculous, but that's a different argument for a different day.
For sure.
Anyone else in the 450s want to talk about?
Yeah, actually, I want to give Jordan Smith a props too. He got in the top 10. He got 9th overall, which is definitely impressive after having a tough season with Supercross and everything going down. It's cool to see him in the top 10. And then Mikkel Harrop, he did really good too, getting the 7th overall. So hats off to him, like a stealthy kind of 7th place. Didn't see too much of him, but really great ride out of him.
Yeah, it's got to be cool too for Plessinger, and I'm sure he's thinking, and when he's passing Harrop, he's like, "Yeah, bike looks good. I'll be good on that next year." You got to be thinking about that, right?
Yeah, you got to be thinking about it a little bit if he's going there. But he could have already rode the bike. There could be some tight lips and people taking the bike somewhere and him riding it. A lot of these guys will go and ride the bike before they sign the contract. They don't say anything, but remember that story with Webb about riding the Yamaha and him getting like flown out and going to the Star Racing facility before he switched from KTM?
Yep. But I'm just saying, like, when he sees it, he goes, okay, this guy's fast. It's definitely competitive. It's got to make you feel good about where you're going.
Sure. They need that too. That team needs some good results.
Yeah, they seem to be working. Man, I'm just bummed. Forkner, MIA. It's hard to call Forkner. Like, everyone's really hard on him. Oh, retire, this and that. But I mean, what did he come back from to even race after brain surgery is impressive. I really like Forkner, but yeah, I don't know. I hope we see him again, but I don't like seeing him go 20th place, not show up. You hear about crashes during the week. Maybe it is time to call it.
Yeah. Do you know the extent of his injuries, where he's at right now?
I have not a clue.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, but he's just MIA right now. So yeah, it's definitely not good, especially everything that he's been through. Yeah, I don't know how much longer he's going to stick around, but at the same time, what is he going to do besides this? Maybe it's going to be something industry involved, or if he steps away completely, I don't know. It'd be pretty tough. The kid has been doing motocross since he was a little kid, like all, from amateurs on, and was an amateur prospect. One of the greatest amateurs to ever do it, like really ripping back in the day before. I'd say AC was obviously one of the best from all his accolades and everything he accomplished, but just some food for thought.
Yeah, and so we're going into the 250s. We were just talking about Triumph before we get into this. Gage Linville, man, I'm kind of bummed. It sounds like Triumph's going to give him one more race and then kind of let him go. He's been there in a fill-in role, but I thought he was going to get the entire outdoors. But I think it's performance related. They're like, dude, you can't be 20th place, barely qualifying to get in the show on a factory bike. I don't know, man. I feel like you got to give the guy a whole season.
Yeah, it's a tough. Well, let's take a look at his results. He was 20. What was he? 20. What did he get overall? 28th.
Yeah, I get it. That's not good. I get it. It's not good.
Yeah, no, you pull the bike. I hate to say it, but I was riding.
He came in injured. He's young. They really wanted him for Supercross.
I know, but on a factory machine, you're expected to be at least top 15. I mean, I know the field essentially you have 15 to 20 factory bikes.
Drew Adams was 15th. Like, it's pretty stacked.
Right, but 28th overall. I mean, he could have went down. He went 23-29 for 28th overall.
And it's about where he's been all year. But I don't know. I would have liked to see him, but he was getting better. I don't know. I would like for them. I mean, what else are they going to do? Just leave him on the bike for the rest of the year. Let him get better. But
I would argue fill it in with somebody else who's putting in better results.
Who would you put on there?
No shade to him, but if there is another guy, take another guy. I don't know. I'm not like studying every rider that would be a better fit, but there's got to be somebody that can put in a better result than that on a factory machine.
Well, if you thought he was good enough to bring him and put him on the bike, I think you stay with him for the year. That's just my opinion. But Cole Davies, now that dude's good enough. Holy crap. But this track suits his very technical style. I want to see him. No, I know we went 1-1 and he's just a few points out of the championship, but I need to see him do this again at Redbud or Southwick before I'm sold on him being possibly the guy.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him being the guy either, just because he's my title pick, just to make clear to the
I was
viewers.
going to say, wait a second.
I made it very clear he's the person I picked to win the title, but I think there's going to be some rounds where he's not going to just go a dominant 1-1. He gelled with High Point. He liked the track. He liked how technical it was and the ruts, and it really allowed a technically sound rider to excel there. Now, once we move to the tracks that are going to be more fast and wide open, and you're not going to have as much of the ruts and the technicalities, it might be a different ball game. Like, I'm curious to see how he's going to do at Southwick, because that track is a track of its own. It's my favorite track. Raced there plenty of times, and I can tell you it's probably one of the most different tracks on the circuit. I'm curious how he does there. I'm curious how he's going to do at Redbud. The track's really fast, open as well, has that looser soil. But going to the tracks for the first time since he hasn't done the full series is going to be a challenge for Cole. That's why if he can just keep himself in top 5 positions, that's going to be great. And then the tracks that he excels on and get a 1-1, get the 1-1. Like at Dilla, let's say Dilla, where it's going to be very similar to High Point, go 1-1 again. Those rounds are what's going to really make him stand out. But if he can just stay consistent, he could be like I said, I still pick him to win the title. But that's going to be the difference if he's able to stay consistent in those rounds that aren't lining up perfectly for him.
Yeah, and how about Julian Beaumer? Beaumer had that first moto. What a dream season he's having, coming off that injury, running the number 13. Oh, but 2-2, and you look, he's only 6 points out of this championship. Like, he could be the champion. Could you imagine that? So
this is where I'm going to stand with what you said regarding Cole. I don't have the faith in Beaumer as of yet. I know he put in some great results. I'm really happy for him that he's doing awesome, especially after that injury. That was a really scary injury. We didn't know if we'd even see him back. So I'm like I said, happy that he's out there. He's riding great. But now if I'm looking at an analytical standpoint, I just need to see more out of Beaumer, because he does do things a little like Hammaker. There's times where he goes down a little bit on his own or out of nowhere. And he did have that win pretty much locked up until he went down on his own. I know everyone's crashed before on their own. It happens to everybody. And in first place, it's the worst place to do it because everyone's watching you and it feels the worst. But I want to see how he's going to do on the tracks that are not hard packed, because what you said about Cole, I'm wondering about Beaumer. Since he's from Arizona, he excels on the hard pack tracks, but how's he going to do at Southwick? How's he going to do at Redbud? How's he going to do at Millville when we get on these soft terrain tracks? Because when we look at what happened to him at Southwick a couple of years back, he had a tough time. I think he crashed out there. Now, he could have been, like I said, he's older now. He's more mature. This very well could be in the past, but I just want to see it before I'm like, hey, he's going to be one of these guys that could just wrap up the title.
Yeah. Joe Shimoda, that's the guy. Now, if I could pick right now, that's who I would pick for this championship. But I couldn't believe, and I get, he's getting a lot of crap for his racecraft around.
Passing. He's like Dungey-ish.
But I don't think it was necessarily bad racecraft from Joe. I think Caden Minier should get some credit. He was perfect, and he learned, and he figured out where Joe was good. And as soon as he did that, he blocked him. Like, I was impressed with Minier, man. He really, and I don't think it was so much that Joe wasn't good or had bad racecraft. I just think Minier rode good.
Yeah, Minier rode great. I mean, you can't take it away from him. He held on, and even with a bunch of laps to go, with Joe stalking him like that, it's so hard to lay down fast laps when you have a guy behind you that's a little bit quicker, and you're trying to protect those lines. And he was able to have this. I got to give Minier credit, because he had like eyes in the back of his head at times where Jett he's like, oh, I know he's going to strike there. I'm going to move over. Like, he was very much like Webb or Prado, being able to protect his lines. And that's not something that you see all the time from a rider of someone his age. So hats off to him. And he pushed all the way at the end, where he could have easily tired it out, being the second moto, a long day. I heard it was pretty hot that day. So yeah, what a ride. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of that out of Caden, because Dundee and Minier were some of the two prospects that were, riding really good in the Star Bikes.
Yeah, well, we did our rookies. We talked about it coming in, and I've kind of been doing rookie watch. He was definitely the best rookie there. And quietly, he's the best rookie in the points. I think he's 7th. Yeah, Meniere's legit. You know, a guy that is legit sometimes, but not always, and I think he needs a therapist to travel with him is maybe Levi Kitchen.
Well, him and Chase did train together at one point.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Maybe it's like something in the water there. I don't know what it is, but both those guys, incredible talent. And when I watch Levi Kitchen, I say this dude should win every moto. Some of the things he does on the bike, and then midway through the moto, he just starts going backwards. I'm like, what?
Right.
You know, the first couple laps, it looked like he's going to be in the lead in a turn or two, and then I don't know what happens to him, and then he like figures it out again. Like I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. If you were his coach, it would drive you bananas.
Yeah, it's got to be really frustrating for his coach. Yeah, Levi, we saw these struggles his whole 250 career, especially with Deegan tormenting him. It's just been nightmares for him, having making mistakes, crashing in first turns, just doing things that have not been that you wouldn't typically make. It's something that you see a novice rider make for his skill set. And now that Deegs is out of the class, we were hoping to see less of these mistakes, but we're still seeing a lot of oddball things. I don't think it's as bad for how he's still, in points and he's doing really well. But the way that everything is transpiring, I don't see him holding on to that red points, the red plate for long.
No, not with Davies and Shimoda coming. There's no way. And even Beaumer at this point.
Right. Yeah, so he's got to do something quick because he's losing points. He's losing this edge on the field that he had from being so dominant. So if he doesn't turn it around, this plate's going to be gone pretty quick. And that's scary because Joe is one of those guys that's a slow starter and gets better and better and better. And Joe's lurking, like we've talked about. He's going really good. He's getting the bike more dialed in. He's feeling stronger after his injury from Supercross. So yeah, I still think the title is going to come down to Shimoda and Davies, but I think all of them have their hands full with Joe, the way that he's going to start to ramp up as the season progresses.
Yeah, and I think my guy Hammaker's out. He came in with that AC joint that he had hurt.
That was bold betting on him. I gave you credit. It was bold.
What's that?
It was bold betting on him.
Paid off for a little bit, but that AC
like
joint, I think
you look like a rock star at Pala.
I know. And even in Hangtown, I mean, he won the first moto. It looked like he was going to be the guy, and then the wheels came off of it after that. But my question to you is, he's 14, 16 points down, something like that. Is it worth pushing to come back? Because 16 points down, when you come back, you don't have to just come back and salvage points. You have to make up points. Is it worth it, or should he just get healthy and come back for SMX?
It's tough.
I know it's tough, right?
Yeah,
and if you ask Seth, he could have a compound fracture and he'll just be like, I'm fine, I'll ride.
Do we know the extent of the injuries yet? Do we get an MRI or get X-ray? Did you say?
I speculated, but I don't know. But I mean, I've had a lot of shoulder injuries, and I used, basically stuff that I know about the shoulder from that. It looks to me like an AC joint that when you loop it out, then you flex out some other parts of it. Could be rotator cuff. It didn't look like it was dislocated because he was able to move it, but that doesn't mean it didn't pop out and pop back in. I'm not sure. He's going to have to probably get an MRI, and they'll let him know the extent of the damage. And I don't know. We'll see. But the thing is if it's not going to pop out, he'll go out and push it. But at what point do you have to protect him from himself and just let him go get healthy?
Yeah, I guess we got to see the injury list and see what happens if he comes out with the MRI and says what it is. But he still is in it. When we look at the standpoint, he's 16 down. And with how crazy this field is and how they keep flip-flopping and going back and forth, he still has a shot at it. So if it's healthy enough to where it can stay in place, go race it, because you never know with this field if something happens.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what I would do. I'd say, Seth, are you good enough that you think you could podium or win? And if the answer is, well, and I wouldn't, I would need to know he's good enough to podium or win. And if he wasn't, I'd sit him down. If not, if you can do that, I'll let him go for it. But after that, there's no reason to. Couple of guys struggled this week. Nick Romano,
that was a rough him, yeah.
Like Cinderella past midnight, and it was not good, man.
What happened? I didn't even see him in the broadcast, but his results just were really rough.
He was slow, and then he crashed.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. He didn't look like the same guy that was at the first 3 rounds.
No, not at all. I mean, 17-22 for 20th overall. Like, he got 1 point. That's crazy for being in contention to win to getting 1 point. I mean, it does show how deep the field is, though.
Wait, 17-22 only gets you 1 point?
Well, he probably got more than that, but I'm saying these overall.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you got more because it's off a moto finish, but he did get 20th overall.
I thought he maybe got a penalty because
no. So he got 22. Like I said, so he didn't get any points for the second moto, but for the first moto, he probably got 3 points. Then I'm assuming he got 17th. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? If I'm him, I say, you know what? Screw it, and just move on to Redbud and forget that High Point happened and focus on the good things. And just
does he keep his ride though with Mitch?
Yes, he better. That would be so cold. That would be worse than the Gage thing, dude. He podiumed in Colorado. Let him keep going. You get more than one. Give him at least 3 bad ones before you pull him.
But isn't he on like a round to round basis? What don't you know his deal right now?
That's what they said. It could be all year. They keep hinting that it's round to round, and he doesn't even know. I'm not sure. Chance Hymas. What do we do with Chance Hymas? Dear Lord, this is not good, man. You cannot be a factory Honda rider and be excited about getting 8th in the second moto. Like, I'm just going to break in the top 10. You can't do that. Now that will get you fired.
Yeah, 13th, 8th. Yeah, even Moseman beat him with a 9-9, which he was kind of a stealthy finish for him, especially coming off of the injury that he came back early from. Yeah, this isn't looking good for Chance. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Did he switch up his program? I mean, I know he's coming off of another injury, but what do you think's going on with him? Because I don't know right now.
Well, he's part of that Lawrence crew, so they don't really talk to me much. So I don't really know. I have no idea what's going on with him. I know he's coming off the shoulder injury, and then last year the ACL. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't been. He was better than this his rookie season. I mean, I literally do not know what's going on with him. I mean, we haven't even seen flashes. We haven't even seen him up on the board. Like, it's been bad all the way through.
The only thing that came to mind right now while you were speaking was he did tear his ACL here last year. So maybe there was some trauma with thinking, oh, I got hurt here last year. Let me just get through this round and try to put in a better result for next round. And now he'll have a 2-week break to where maybe he can make some adjustments.
But he didn't tear it at Colorado where he won the year before and he was like barely getting points.
No, it's true too. That's very true.
If it was just this round, I would cut him some slack, but that's multiple rounds in a row that he has stunk the joint up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jay Woods said Chance going through girlfriend problems. That was a real thing too, right? Wasn't it? That happened.
Chance?
Did Chance? Didn't he?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm
there
sure.
Was some rider that did
I know Dax Bennick had some issues with that.
Okay, it was Dax. I knew there was a rider that had a problem with that and actually like affected their.
Well, it was because she was a WMX girl, and yeah.
Oof.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else in the 250s you want to talk about?
Taking a look at Casey Cochran. We should mention him. He had a really good time.
Casey Cochran. Finally, man. I don't know. I just cheer for the kids like Casey Cochran that, man, they work so hard. Their whole lives are dedicated to it. And like 1 or 2 bad seasons as a pro, and they're ready to just throw you to the scrap pile.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last race in this sport, unfortunately.
I know, but your whole life is dedicated to that. That's got to suck, man. It's brutal. And that's why part of the reason I really want for the sport to be able to pay through the top 40. So guys like you, when you qualify for a national, you make enough money to at least get to the next race. So hypothetically, if you do get kicked off a factory team, there's a route to keep racing and get back there. Yeah, pretty much. It's super difficult, like I said, unless you have support. You really can't do it full time. Like the only reason I was able to do it any racing is because, like I said, I have a full time job, or before you have a full time job, you need support from somebody. Otherwise, it's just not feasible with how expensive it is. So thankful for my family. My pops helped me out so much back then, and like I said, since I work full time now, it's just been when I did it, it was like, all right, just put the money in towards everything because it adds up so fast to get to one of these rounds. It's crazy. Wayne Brown says Cochran is Zach Bell 2.0. Come on, man. That's just mean. And Zach Bell, he actually has a really good off-road career. So maybe that would be good for Cochran if he ended up going off-road. But no, I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah, I I would say Zach Bell had more speed than Cochran, and Zach Bell crashed out a lot more than Cochran. That's what I would say. But yeah, Cochran, at least he's showing his speed, so he needs to do that. But Bell would be one of those guys where he would whole shot lead for like 20 minutes, get on the podium, or just completely like weed up, and that was it. It's all she wrote.
Oh man, that crash in his first Supercross. Remember that when he launched off?
That was
He made the
insane.
60 helmet famous.
He did. He probably shouldn't have gone out there though, honestly, because it still looked like he was concussed with how he was laying on the ground there. But they didn't want to make the helmet look bad. And I'm an advocate for 60 because I love 60. I wear 60 helmet, to be clear. But
Oh, it's great.
But one thing I will say is that was a terrible crash back then with Zach Bell. I still don't think he should have been racing because he was talking about still, being dizzy a bit. And I know he had pressure to race with that helmet just coming out.
Well, and I laugh when people say, "Oh, he wasn't knocked out." He said he wasn't knocked out. I'm like, listen, you never asked. You never know when you're the guy that got knocked out. Like,
no, I mean,
UFC fighters wake up after 30 seconds and they're like, "What happened? Let's fight."
Yeah, that's the thing. And like I said, being a medical in the medical field as an EMT and firefighter, like what I said, when I show up on scene and I see someone that needs mending, or I have to treat a patient, I'm not going to ask them just like, all right, if you feel this way, you're good, I'm going to leave. Like if they had some serious trauma, we have to assess them. We have to go through protocol, and then they'll need to be transported to the hospital. So yeah, you can never ask someone like that if they had a serious injury, like a head injury, which is head trauma, to what they want to do.
Yeah, the last person you ever ask is the person that hit their head. All right, ready for the listener questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I don't know why it's cutting it off. Sorry.
No, so I cut it a little bit because it was long, but I want to drop it. I know his question was in there. But anyway, this is an interesting question. And it was basically going back to Chase. We get a lot of these questions about Chase Sexton. I'm not going to read the whole thing out here, but the whole gist is do you think Cowie has damaged Chase, or you think it's one of those things where he should go to Suzuki because Suzuki is a superior bike than the Cowie? Because clearly, like we talked about, Prado and Chase haven't been good to the brand, but the Cowie hasn't been good to Chase either.
Why on earth would Suzuki want Chase right now? They just won the Supercross championship with Ken Roxon. People believe this old bike is amazing. You really want Chase to go over there and show people it actually sucks?
One thing I will mention is Chase and Kenny get along really well. So maybe that could be a better fit if he went there. I'm not saying it's the ideal fit, but that's the only reason I can think, all right, at least they get along. But how long is Kenny going to actually stay on the bike for? Like until he retires, because he's already talked about how much longer he wants to stay in the sport.
I don't care. The guy just pulled off the biggest upset in Supercross history by winning on a Suzuki at age 32. I figure out what to do when he leaves. Right now, I say, you know what? The team's yours. You do what you want, Kenny. I mean, he has made them so much more. Think about this. How much money he's made Suzuki versus what these other guys have cost Kawasaki. I mean, he's been very profitable for the brand. So you just give him whatever he wants and keep Ken Roxon, and you keep Sexton out of that pit. I mean, he wasn't good at Honda. He wasn't good at KTM. He wasn't good at Kawasaki. You got this perfect dream scenario going on at Suzuki. You really want to bring him in?
That's a good point. It's not going to be good for the brand if it goes south and the way it's been going. But I could just see only because they're friends. But yeah, it's probably better off to wait until Kenny retires.
I would.
We got here. Oh, okay. Another one. Yeah. CKY Moto said Chase to Suzuki. They both have WSX and AMA Supercross titles. Yeah. Just kind of like what we're talking about.
I would like to see Chase, if he's healthy enough, go to World Supercross. Learn how to win it.
You think he would
go there on, if he's doing a Yamaha, whatever. He just needs to go there if he's healthy enough, assuming, and it sure looks like it's an ACL. So he's probably out at least 3 months. He's going to put him, at least go to World Supercross and race a couple rounds, especially if it's on a Yamaha. Shake out the bugs on the Yamaha. Find out what's going on before you take it to Anaheim.
Yeah. I would love to see him race WSX. We need more guys going there, and it's cool that Cooper Webb is, and we got some other guys going there. We don't have the whole entry list yet, do we?
No, not yet. They're just announcing guys. But these guys got to remember too, like,
you're going to be going to some of the rounds, aren't you?
Probably. I haven't looked at how many. They're not having a Canada round, so I got to figure out which one to go to. But yeah, I like going to World Supercross. I still media there, so it's kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Okay, let's pull up. We got another the strawberry again. No, BR Moto. Okay, here we
Yeah.
go.
Oh, this was talking about the jump from the White House, and they were saying that we didn't mention it, but we did mention the show. We didn't spend a ton of time on it, but we did definitely talk about it throughout the podcast last week. But I just want to give a chance to bring it up or talk about it again if you had anything else you wanted to share about it, because it was a really cool historic moment for for motocross, for dirt bikers, for the history of everyone who rides dirt bikes.
I think it's awesome. The issue I have is I don't know, and I love the White House card, and I don't want to crap on it, but I don't like that it's being treated like the Roman gladiators performing for the elites. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but the fact that Pastrana, Deegan backflipped on the White House lawn, that's pretty cool. But they didn't do anything special. It wasn't like they broke a record like Colby Raha did in Vegas here when he hit that half pipe at like 70 miles an hour. That was insane. Or the quarter pipe. That's insane. They just did basic tricks that you do at a normal freestyle show. And it was very cool that they did it. But I'm sorry, guys, it wasn't anything worthy of, I'm not slipping. I just didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Mm. Yeah, I thought it was really cool just to see that for history wise. It's something that you never see. It's a first time, and the UFC having an event there was really cool. Obviously, I don't support I'm not a big fan of politicians or elites or any of that stuff, but I think just for a point of history to have dirt bikes in front of people that it wouldn't be in front of, that is really cool and bringing more light to the sport. So, yeah, hats off for Dana for making that happen and for getting Travis Strong out there, Deegan and RC and a few other guys. It was and Twitch. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I'll say this: any event with Pastrana, Twitch, Brian Deegan, Jeremy McGrath, and even Ricky Carmichael, that's a pretty badass lineup.
Yeah, no, it's sick. So yeah, definitely really cool.
Okay, here we go. New one.
Yeah. So JMac GT 4000 said, I've been saying what Matt.
Oh,
yep. Yeah, I was reading the name. He's been saying exactly what Matt's been saying. I've been watching MX since the 80s, and it's the first time I've seen AMA hand out penalties for the track markers. Why now is my question. So we were talking about Colorado and what happened with Deegs and the track markers, and I was saying I've done multiple nationals, and every national I do, Chris, there's always track markers that are down, and there's always guys going inside of them or running them over. It's nothing new. And if you don't take that line, you're losing time. And when you qualify and when you're out there in the race, everyone's using the line, and they weren't penalizing you. And what they would typically do is the next moto, they get a tough block, or they get caution tape, or get something, or they get the dozer and they backblade it so you can't go in that same position. But yeah, the AMA is clearly handing out a fierce amount of penalties now. I don't really know why. I don't think that Deeg's popularity or reputation is helping with that, because I don't think they like having someone that's that famous and that's potentially a threat to the sport. But yeah, it's just annoying to see how far these penalties are going. I mean, I don't like it. I think a lot of riders feel the same way about how it's motocross. Typically, there's never penalties given unless it's something major. Now, all of a sudden, every round, there's something going on. It's like, I don't even know why we're sound checking the bikes too for outdoors. It's the most ridiculous thing. Like, you're outdoors. People want to hear the noise of the motorcycle. And now it's like, oh, every year we got to bring them down this amount of dBs. Like, even the manufacturers are trying to change their motorcycles to bring the dBs down, right? For being penalized for sound. Let's just take, for example, now, the moment you take that exhaust off from Yamaha or Honda, the bike is just as loud. What's the point? You're not going to beat it. And then all these guys take an ECU and put in a special ECU setting that chokes up the bike so it's quiet. And they're just trying to work around the rules that they're giving. So I don't agree with it. I just think it's just ridiculous. But what are your thoughts?
Oh, dude, you said it really well. The track markers, this is an overcorrection. So they targeted Deegan, and they've been pissed about Deegan because he is a threat. He speaks his mind. They can't control him. He doesn't play by their rules, and they're terrified, and they're using the rule book to, hammer down on him and to not get completely called out on the straight targeting of Hayden Deegan. They have to go, oh, that's right. We got him for that. We literally took a Supercross win away So now we better watch it everywhere. And you're seeing something you've never seen in the sport that's not part of the sport. But instead of admitting and giving Deegan his win back, they're going to penalize everyone else the rest of the year. It's ridiculous. It's a compensation to a mistake that was already made.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good way to compensate for it. Like, right? Like if they, like, oh, we don't want to bring all the spotlight of what we're doing to Deeg. Let's just start, throwing out all these penalties to everybody else and trying to make it look like, oh, hey, we're doing it for this person. We're doing it for that person too, to try to make it look fair, but it's really not. And I actually have proof of this because they did this to me at Southwick a couple of years ago. I'll just mention it briefly, but when I qualified like 24th in time qualifying with my fast lap, and they took it away from sound. However, they took it away my fast lap in my first session, right? The Star Racing guys, they penalized for sound in the second session when the track is dramatically slower because of how rough it gets. You have to get the qualifier in the first one at Southwick because it's smooth. So they took the fast laps away from the Star Racing guys at the time, like Anstey and Deegan, but not in the first moto. So you're telling me that the Star Racing bikes got louder in the second qualifier than the first qualifier. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's just dirty, dude. They did you dirty, and that's the thing is they bend the rules, and what they're doing is they don't want to get caught. And because if they admit that this marker thing's ridiculous, we got to go all the way back, and then you'll have to admit that Deegan's Supercross getting taken away was also ridiculous.
I'm so happy he didn't give the trophy back, Deegs, for that.
Good, he shouldn't. It's his trophy.
Yeah.
He won the race. We all saw it.
And they wrecked the record books, actually. The record books were messed up for that, because Deegs would have had
They screwed the fans. They screwed Deegan. Oh, man, you can get me pissed off talking about the AMA and promoters.
Yeah. So next one, Ashley.
More to get me fired up.
Yeah, Ashley and Men says the rules being filled with gray areas are allowing the AMA to run not just financial situations at the track, but now will affect people betting their paychecks on Deegan. So I think he's talking about the betting aspect of our sport now with these penalties being handed out. Now it's affecting people who actually bet, because if they get the bets right and then they use a penalty, it's not fair. It's like, wow, I did the bet right. This person, Deegs, was supposed to finish top 3 and now he didn't. So I lost, let's say I bet $100. I lost $100 on Deegs because now the penalty caused him not to do that. So they're affecting the odds now, and they're changing the game.
The AMA rulebook, and you know this, you read it pretty thoroughly after your incident, is written so vague that they can target or make any decision they want and justify it by pointing at the rulebook. And it's the most, everything they say, they take back with something else, and they can enforce it any which way they want. And he's absolutely right. And the fact that there is legit gambling on these results, it's almost like you could almost bring in, gosh, I would never want the government to oversee anything, but the FBI could look at it, because that is technically like race fixing the way they do it. And if they could, they'd have to prove that they did it intentionally for a specific reason. But right now, it's almost like betting on pro wrestling, the way they can manipulate it.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's very true. It's not good from the direction of how much power that they have. The fact that they docked Deegan, what was it, 7 positions for that round?
That's insane.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. And then for Levi, they didn't even penalize Levi when he went off the track, then came back on without looking and giving it gas. So it's pick and choose on what they want to do there. It's not fair.
And you can't tell me they didn't see Kitchens. It was right there on the broadcast.
Yeah, they showed the slow-mo replay a bit.
And there was an AMA official staring right at him when he did it. And I'm not saying I'm fine with not penalizing Kitchen, but you can't penalize Deegan on the other side of the track and then not, like, can we have some consistency?
Right.
But that just shows you they're targeting Deegan. And Kitchen's a nice guy. He plays by the rules, doesn't want to ruffle any feathers, so they leave him alone.
Yeah.
So,
and that part was actually really close to where Kitchen went off the track at Thunder Valley, and then when Deegs went off, it was really close, because once you make that right-hand turn, you do that little bend and you drop down the hill. So it's very close to the same spot. Not identical, but close enough to where it could have translated over to a penalty for Kitchen.
Well, and technically where Kitchen went off, he could have went off and like hit a fan, hit that official. Where Deegan went off, there wasn't a soul around. Like, he wasn't going to hit anyone. I mean, it wasn't dangerous. It was just, and he had to speed up because he entered the track in a higher speed section where Kitchen went faster off track than when he got back on the track.
Yeah,
so,
no, it's same, eh? So it's not.
Yeah. Well, we had our picks last week, And dang it, you got your red plate back. I'm at 32. You're at 35. You took Joe to win, so you got a point because he was in the top 3. Seth, you got a point. No, that's not right. Wrong one. Wait. That's me. Okay, I might have screwed these up. I'm gonna have to double check, but I think you're winning.
We'll pull it back. We'll double check this after the scorecard. Double check the results. Run it by the AMA officials.
I'm pretty sure I got it right. But I'm the AMA. I'm just gonna overrule it because I'm the race director, and you hit a track marker. So no, I think I got it. But you got more points than I did. I'm looking at last week, so I got them all jammed up in one little spreadsheet, so it doesn't really. My notes suck, but I did get them correct when I added the totals. So
all right. Well, yeah.
Here we go. Hammer. You picked Seth to get second?
I got to go back in my notes.
Yeah, you did. Okay, maybe that's it. So you got Joe, Seth, and Kitchen. Kitchen got you no points. Seth got you 1. 450. You had Jett, Hunter, Deegan. You got 113. Okay, now I got them right. And then I went Seth, Davies, Kitchen. I only got 1 for Davies. Then I went Jett, Hunter, Prado, and I got 2. So I got 3 points on the I got 3 points. Neither of us like hit home runs, but yeah, I forgot that you picked Seth to get second. So
yeah, it's a bad pick.
Yeah, well, I had him to win, so I lost even worse. But
I thought being a Pennsylvania native, he would come through there, but that was a tough one for him. But yeah, let's do it. So I'll take the red plate back. It seems like it might be a tough season unless I get a gap here, but yeah.
Well, do you want to pick Redbud now, or do you want to do a little show next week?
Let's do a show next week and then pick, because a lot could happen in 1 week.
I was going to say, we don't even know if Seth might not be racing. Yeah, there's a lot that can happen. Yeah. I was hoping. I'm just trying to goat you into doing another show with me. So
yeah, let's do that. So that'll be better off, just because we don't know what's going to happen and the extent of injuries and whatnot, who's racing. But yeah, it'll be ideal
for sure. All right, man. Anything else you want to get off your chest?
I think that's about it. It's fun. And if you haven't already, like the broadcast, subscribe, help out Chris, help out my new channel too. So yeah, helps out a ton, and appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, guys, don't forget, in the description, it's a Spotify link. Help Matt with this music, and he's also getting the new channel. And if you guys could, I'd really appreciate it if you'd go over and subscribe to his channel. YouTube sees it, so they start pushing them and get them cranking. So awesome. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate everything. And Matt, I'll catch you later.
All right. Sounds good, Chris. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, everyone.
Holy Ghost Boys.
I've been running down this street. It's been so hard to breathe. I've been feeling all this weight. It's been stuck in my brain. I've been drowning for so long. My skin's numb, can't hold on. Turn so blue, my hope feels gone. Oh, can you feel my pain? I am bleeding out. Will you watch me drain? My eyes are closing. Can you feel my pain? I can't feel my pain. I feel the flames, they stay the same. I might go insane. Everything feel like a race and nobody's safe. I'm hoping I don't get erased. They watching me bleed and look at my face. I'm wicked, it written right off of the page. I feel like I might get lost, running in circles. I'm searching for something bigger than what I can see in the mirror, but I don't see nothing but pain and the fear. I've been drowning for so long. My skin's numb.